Probably the most popular question we get at TFL Truck is what?
Should I buy a full-size truck or a heavy-duty truck?
Yes, and here we have two off-road trucks, brand new 2025 models, and we have two identical trailers, and let's answer this question once and for all.
And there's only one way to do that, pulling trailers.
The Denver 100 MPG Loop is a toll road all the way around Denver, Colorado, and it's mainly run at highway speeds between 65 miles an hour and 75 miles an hour. And our standard distance is just over 111 miles.
What I have brought to the table is a brand new GMC Sierra 1500 AT4X AEV. This is a top dog Sierra 1500 with the 3-liter Duramax.
And I brought a brand new 2025 Chevy Silverado 2500 heavy duty. This is a Trail Boss edition, and it has a 6.6 liter Duramax V8 under the hood. And Kase, what do you say? How about we run Denver 100 loop?
Let's do it!
And see what efficiency we get, and let's compare it feature for feature. We're in the big boy leagues today.
Hell of a nozzle.
This is semi-truck pump. All right, let's see how this works. Okay, I'm gonna go on slow. Okay,
yeah.
Because even slow is very, very fast.
Oh yeah, you ain't kidding.
All right, dude, so this is interesting. Of course, you and I both have DEF.
Oh yeah.
Right, DEF. But you have the capless system, and this is a,
yeah, I just noticed.
Yeah, so.
Well, what's the fuel tank size on this beast?
Are you ready for this?
Let's hear it.
Ooh, 36 gallons.
That's a pretty big tank.
It's like 50% bigger than the other truck.
I'm impressed.
But we'll find out on this loop. If the efficiency is similar, maybe this is the truck to buy.
Yeah.
So the main reason of why we're doing a Denver 100 loop, it's because diesel pickup trucks are about long distance efficiency, right?
That's exactly right. And we want to see how these two trucks stack up, especially because we don't get HD truck fuel economy numbers from the factory.
Only way I think a diesel pickup truck makes sense is if you drive a lot of miles. If you're buying a pickup truck to commute 10 miles every day, that's probably not the right vehicle for you. But if you're driving a long distance, you know, without a trailer or with a trailer, that's where it makes sense to buy a diesel.
Absolutely, and between these two trucks, this one being more compact is also going to make for a better daily driver. But today's test is mostly about towing.
And you have a really cool engine, dude. I wish every diesel engine had that power density that you have.
Andre, how do you like my Duramax diesel?
I like your engine cover. It looks very, very nice.
This is, of course, the 3-liter Duramax that's available here on the 1500. 305 horsepower, 495 pound-feet of torque, so still pretty good output, especially on the torque end of things, and a 10-speed automatic.
I think this is excellent, and I think power per liter of displacement cannot be beat. Yeah, it's very impressive.
And look, there's a turbo, and it says, don't touch.
It's big.
Yeah.
It's a big one. Did you know that my first pickup truck ever was a 2002 6.6 liter Duramax?
And now look at you, it's like you're home.
I am basically home. So this engine is way different from the engine back in the day.
Oh, yeah.
This code is L5P, that's the engine code, and it now produces 470 horsepower, so quite a bit more than before, and 975 pound-feet of torque. It's not a class leader in torque or horsepower,
Yeah.
but it still has a 10-speed auto.
Yeah, no, it's a good setup. And you got a ram air intake.
Yeah, I have a hood
You're
scoop.
allowed to call it a ram air.
You don't have a hood scoop.
No,
I do.
I don't have a hood scoop, but this actually works. That's pretty cool.
Yeah. You don't have the optional tow mirrors.
Yeah, I am suffering a little bit at the moment from my lack of tow mirrors. This trailer is obviously pretty wide, and it's a little difficult to see around. The pretty extensive camera systems on this truck do help out a little bit, because when I'm in my tow haul mode, as I am now, and I turn on the turn signal, I get a camera view that comes up on the screen that gives me a better view of what's around the corner than what I get from the mirrors alone. But I would always rather have the dependability of a mirror versus a camera system. So if I was buying this truck to do a lot of trailering with, those tow mirrors would be the first thing I would spec.
And of course, heavy-duty trucks basically come with tow mirrors in general, and that's the mirror I have. But we gotta talk about stability, right? We pick up some speed. We're doing this Denver 100 as always on our toll road, which is a loop around Denver. And you want a really big and stable platform for your pickup truck. And my truck feels like it's on rails. How's yours?
Really not bad at all. 4,000 pounds for a truck with this amount of capability is not pushing it at all. That being said, this trailer, especially empty as it is now, every now and then when the wind picks up, I feel just a little bit of movement back there, so I can tell that I'm hooked up to a trailer. But I would imagine you up there in the 2,500, other than looking in your mirrors, can't feel at all that there's something hitched to your bumper.
Well, this is a 24-foot trailer, so I feel a tiny bit, I can kind of tell I'm towing, especially because my acceleration feels a little slower, compared to if I was just running empty. But my wheelbase is very long. It's longer than your truck's. My truck is very heavy. It weighs about 8,200 pounds versus your truck's 6,300 pounds. So, if I was pulling something bigger, maybe like a fifth wheel camper, I would really want to be in a heavy duty.
That's true, and that's one of the first questions that we ask whenever people reach out to us to try and figure out whether they should get a full-size truck or a heavy-duty truck, is what trailer are you going to be pulling? Both of these trailers, weight-wise, are well within what either of them have the capability to do. But that being said, depends a little bit on your use case as well, because if you're towing in the mountains a lot, the extra power of that Duramax might come in handy, especially if the trailer that you want to pull is going to ever close in on the maximum capability of a truck like this. If you're in the mountains, then you might want to go for the HD.
All right, dude, well, let's put some miles under our belts. We need to go about 111 miles today, and let's see what they do. As always, we're using our aluminum weight-safe hitches, and check it out. This one is actually meant specifically for this truck. 2.5-inch shank, and it's rated basically for the capacity of the truck.
18,500?
Yeah.
Is that what we're towing today?
No, but that's the capacity of this truck.
Oh, well, perfect.
But look, and it's height adjustable, so we should have no issues whatsoever setting this up.
Yeah, well, the nice thing is they're super light, which makes them easy to haul around. And then our favorite thing that we'll look at when we're actually putting the trailer on is the scale that's built into these hitches. Is really cool. And Andre, I've got your Hitches baby brother. It's a 2-inch version.
Yeah, so it's a little bit less capable, but still super strong.
Yeah, this one's rated for 12.5, but that's still more than we're going to be able to ever hook up to this truck.
Nice.
Yeah. Now, Andre, these trailers have a pretty cool party trick.
Yeah, I love this. So, when you buy that Corvette ZR1, right?
When?
Yes, when. That's where you put it, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And it's really nicely outfitted in here. We've got some storage at the front of the trailer that's accessible from the inside, as well as this cubby that you can get to from the outside, which is also pretty cool.
Yeah.
Of course, lockable. But
Very
if you
cool.
wanted a few things accessible from the outside of the trailer, all really nice stuff. And it's a 24-foot long enclosed trailer.
Yeah, and this is really cool because we're using identical trailers. They're both the same length,
Yes.
same width and same height. They're by Intech, which means very high tech. You're towing a trailer that weighs about 4,000 pounds,
but yours has a couple extra options.
Yes, so mine trailer weighs about 4,500 pounds. And this video would not be possible without our friends at Complete Trailers.
Yeah.
They have a store here in Colorado. They have stores in Texas and California. So check them out using the link below.
Okay, I cannot wait to learn what your efficiency is at this halfway point of the loop.
Yeah, we just passed the 50-mile mark, which means we're more than halfway now. And so far, well, do you want to hear the number?
I'm gonna say you are between 10 and 11 mpg. Am I right?
Very pessimistic, Andre. I am right now showing 13.7. Of course, we have to confirm that at the pump, but if this truck is correct, that's a pretty good number for a trailer that is very high profile.
Wow, okay, guess mine.
I am gonna get 12.
Well, I'll have to disappoint you just a little bit. I'm showing 11.1.
Well, that doesn't disappoint me at all, Andre, because that means I'm winning.
Gosh, I was really hoping, the heavy duty can have an upper hand, but I think it still can.
How about trailer sway? Are you getting any trailer pushing you around?
Not a ton. Every now and then I feel it a little bit, but everything in this truck feels pretty solid, pretty planted. Not as planted as you're going to feel in your truck. Also, power output plenty, especially for this trailer, only being a little over 4,000 pounds. So all is very well in here, but there's no way that this truck is pulling the trailer as confidently as your HD is.
Yeah, I've been mostly quite relaxed. It's kind of an afternoon drive for me. And once again, like you said, plenty of power. That's not an issue of power. I've also had quite a bit of
grade shifting, so I've noticed it helping me out. So I feel like this truck is really in tune with what I want to do. It's like, it's comfortable, it's stable, it's helping me slow down. It's really quite good. All right, dude, well, let's get to the pump, figure out exact, real world numbers. And also we got to talk about pricing on these trucks, because that's also could be an issue.
Yeah, I think the prices might surprise people. Now, Andre, looking at the payload on this truck.
Yeah.
It's 1,048 pounds.
This truck is pretty amazing for what it is, but I think that's one weakness this truck has.
To be fair, it does have a lot of underbody protection. It's got rock sliders, it's got AEV steel bumpers, and this really nice leather interior, so that takes up a little bit of it. But yeah, just over 1,000 pounds is not a lot.
And according to this, it will tow 8,000 pounds, which is once again not class leading by half-ton truck standards. But considering that this is a specialty off-roader,
yeah,
not too bad.
Yeah, cut it some slack.
This truck is pretty special because it's a 2025 Trail Boss Heavy Duty, which hasn't existed before.
Yeah.
It combines kind of the LT truck, so not a very high option truck, right?
Yeah.
It combines that with some off-roadability, but it keeps a lot of payload. 3,129 pounds.
Which is almost exactly 3 times what that has. And impressive considering that this is also an off-road trim. Not as aggressive of an off-road trim as that is, but we still maintain really good payload.
And 18,500 pounds of conventional hitch towing.
And you got red tow hooks.
Red tow hooks, yes.
Our favorite, Tommy's favorite.
I'm very impressed, Kase, that even with your AEV edition truck, diesel, you still have a engine heater
Yeah,
plug.
we got a block heater, which especially on a diesel and in cold climates like Colorado where we live here, is really nice to have. And it plugs right into the bumper there, super easy to get to.
Bam, I didn't know your truck was electric.
Oh yeah, you didn't know? It's an EV.
Okay. I have a plug too. All right, dude, so we're basically done with our loop. Because we're using this different diesel station for this Denver 100, it was 115 miles.
Yeah, so a few miles extra here in our test, and we've been driving for a couple hours, so it's been a nice long journey to be able to stretch the legs on both of these trucks and get a good feel for them.
Well, let's come up with a verdict. Let's fill up, see the data, and get the final judgment.
How confident aren't you?
Well, you might beat me a little bit on efficiency, but, you know, we have some pros and cons.
Look at that capless system.
Easy peasy, huh? What did your computer say?
15.
15?
15, which is closing in on like a TRX with no trailer. And this is an off-road trim of a truck.
That's closing in on my V8 Tundra with no trailer.
Yeah.
That's really impressive for this
Pretty
loop.
good. If that is accurate, find out. Be good.
Oh, that's it.
Yeah, almost exactly 8 gallons.
Wow, dude. Okay, let's calculate. So we went 115 miles, correct?
Yeah, exactly.
Divided by 8.056. 14.3.
14.3, which is really good. A little optimistic on what the computer was figuring, but still over 14 miles per gallon, towing a trailer that is admittedly not super heavy, but is really high profile, pushing a lot of air.
Yeah.
That's good.
All right, well, let's see what the big Duramax did. The big boy heavy duty Duramax says 11.9. All right, let's see what the big engine does. I guess this truck is heavier, so in theory, the heavier you are, the more fuel you're using, right?
That, and I think, to be fair to your truck, that the AC unit on the top of the trailer adds a little bit of extra drag.
Oh yeah, there's a little bit there. Yes.
Is that going to make all of the difference that it sounds like we're probably going to see here? I don't think it's going to make that much of a difference.
And both of these trucks have pretty aggressive tires, right? So we weren't testing like the efficiency versions of these trucks.
Yeah.
So if I stay under 8 gallons, I'm looking pretty good, right?
Yeah, but that's not going to happen. Oh, he blew right past it.
What? Ah, stop,
There goes
stop,
9.
stop pumping.
Oh, man.
Well, we said we're not doing a top off because this pump is very powerful.
Very quick, yeah.
So 9.74, let's calculate. Okay, 115 miles divided by 9.744 equals 11.8.
Which is not bad.
Actually, it's crazy because my truck said 11.9.
Yeah, so pretty accurate there.
Very accurate. And also, this is a new truck that TFL Studios purchased recently. So if we put another 5 or 10,000 miles on this truck, it could get a little bit more efficient, wouldn't you say?
It could, yeah, but here's the real question, Andre. Did we just discover that we bought the wrong truck?
No.
Is that what we're saying?
Here's my verdict.
Okay.
And I want to see if you agree. My verdict is this. For a trailer like we use today, right? A lighter trailer, maybe with a race car in it, or maybe a camping trailer like yours.
Yeah.
I think your truck could be perfect for that.
Yeah, definitely, because it's a little bit more convenient to drive more often. This truck has a much bigger bed, it's a much longer vehicle, and as we saw, fuel economy, not quite as good. It is a higher profile truck, it's also pushing more air, it's got a much bigger displacement engine.
But here's a question. Do you have a gooseneck hitch in your truck?
I don't.
Okay, can your truck pull 19,000 pounds on a gooseneck?
Does your truck have a selectable front and rear locker, Andre?
No. All right, so the search continues, right?
Yeah.
No, but I hope it makes sense to you guys, right? You saw exactly same trailer, apples to apples, right? Basically what these two trucks are capable of, and then we'll do a heavy eye gauntlet with this heavy duty truck pretty soon.
Absolutely, that's what everybody wants to see. Make use of that hitch in there.
Exactly. Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you next time. Oh, there is one more thing.
Oh, is there?
How much does your truck cost?
Oh, we almost got away with it. It's about $88,000. So that truck, very specced out.
Yes,
It's not a
it's the
Denali
top
Ultimate.
high, well, it's almost top of the line.
Yeah, it's about as top dog as those trucks get. It's almost $90,000.
This truck is not a top dog heavy duty. But this truck is 78,000 bucks.
which can buy you quite a bit of fuel, so that might factor.
But you could buy both of these at the same price, right?
Yeah, you can,
Really?
depending on how you spec them out.
Exactly. So the search continues.